I appreciate you sharing that with us all, ma'am. And I think I speak for all of us in this room when I say that we regret your tragic loss. But I think the issue here before us today is whether we as Americans want to abide by such documents as the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. If the answer is yes, then I think our course is clear, and I think your uncle, who was, I'm sure, a very fine man, if he were here today, might just agree that if we go tampering with the bedrock principles that our founding fathers laid down, many of whom, you recall, were themselves tobacco farmers, just for the sake of indulging a lot of frankly unscientific speculation, then we're placing at risk not only our own freedoms, but those of our children and our children's children. Anti-tobacco hysteria is not exactly new. You remember, of course, Murad IV, the Turkish Sultan. Murad, remember, got it into his head that people shouldn't smoke, so he outlawed it. And he would go out at night dressed up like a regular Turk and wander the streets of Istanbul, pretending to have a nicotine fit and begging people to sell him some tobacco. And if someone took pity on him and gave him something to smoke, whammo, Murad would behead him on the spot and leave the body right there in the street to rot. Warning, selling tobacco to Murad IV can be dangerous to your health. Myself, I'd like to think that we as a nation have progressed beyond the days of summary executions for the crime of pursuing our own definition of happiness. That in Washington passed for genuine self-deprecation. Safer to try insincere earnestness, believe it or not, he began, fidgeting with his silk tie now to show that he was nervous when in fact he was not. I'm delighted to be here at the Clean Lungs 2000 Symposium. With the 20th century fast whimpering and banging its way to a conclusion, every conference in sight was calling itself blah blah 2000, so as to confer on itself a sense of millennial urgency that would not be lost on the relevant congressional appropriations committees, or TITs, as they were privately called by the special interest groups who made their livelihood by suckling at them. Nick wondered if this had been true of conferences back in the 1890s. Had there been a federally subsidized Buggy Whips 1900 symposium? Buggy Whips. Don't whip your horses. Well, golly, I thought these things were outlawed in the 1890s. Apparently not. We better go to our buckets this morning. The buggy whip, still working since the 1890s. And I want to add, a doctor many years ago, before this Clean Lungs campaign came out, right before they started spraying our skies as well. Funny how that works. Basically, he told a relative of mine that smoking actually kills germs. And from what I've also understood, that although it's lining your lungs with nicotine, well, right before this anti-smoking campaign, they started spraying the skies. True facts. So, as they said in Nam, smoke 'em while you got 'em, because certainly the prices are rising. Even the cheap Montegos now have risen in price, and soon there won't be any more Marlboro Man. You might be able to vape some cotton candy, I guess, but as for me, I'm going to get some real cotton candy at the fair tonight. I'm wondering if they've done any taxpayer-funded studies on what white sage could do to you. Maybe I'll have to go investigate that.